I'm Dennis Carlberg. I'm the Sustainability Director for Boston University, and I think we have a great program. On behalf of Sustainability at BU, I would like to thank the Boston University Marine Program, Stellwagen Alive, Les Kaufman, David Brown, Bill Grafton, and Nathan Phillips for helping to put this program together. We couldn't have done it without them, and of course we couldn't have done it without our great speakers. Let's see. We have two speakers. Milo Cress, who's a 10-year-old entrepreneur trying to convince us all to reduce our waste, looking at one issue, our straws. And both of our speakers will take questions afterwards, after they talk. And our second speaker is Captain Charles Moore, who's done a great deal to raise awareness on the human impacts on our oceans and our ecosystems around, again, the issue of plastics. So hence Plastic Ocean. As I mentioned, there'll be questions and answers after each speaker. We're going to have mics going around. We're recording this for the Sustainability at BU website. So we'd like you to wait for a mic. We have 2 mics, and we have runners going around that will be able to get a mic to you quickly. So we'll begin with Milo. Milo, as I mentioned, is a 10-year-old entrepreneur doing some amazing stuff. At the age of 9, he launched his website, bestrawfree.org. And basically his message is he's encouraging restaurateurs to offer a straw if people want a straw, but not to automatically give people straws when they don't necessarily want them or need them. Milo joined us in the summer for the FISOP. That's the first-year student outreach project, which was a great event. And he inspired me to find a way to bring him back so more people could hear what he has to say. With that, Milo, if you could come up to the mic. There we go.
Hello, my name is Milo. Thanks so much for inviting me here today to talk about my project, Be Straw Free. I'm not here today to tell you why disposable plastic straws are bad for the environment. You already know that. Many of you are environmentalists. What I would like to tell you about is my project, Be Straw Free. I'd like to tell you how my project got started, what I've done with it so far, and where I hope it will go. This all started when my mom and I were writing a newspaper column recommending restaurants which offer healthy menus for kids. We found ourselves eating out at restaurants more often than before, and it came as a surprise to me when I noticed that if I didn't order my drink without a straw, it would come with one in it automatically. This seemed like a huge waste because I don't usually need a straw. It also made me wonder how many straws are used in America every day. We did some research, and we found out that we use about 500 million straws in the US every day. 500 million straws averages out to 1.6 straws per person per day, which doesn't really sound like a lot, and straws are small, but it really adds up. For example, it adds up to more than 46,000 large school bus loads of straws per year. Some environmental groups have told us that the 500 million straws estimate is actually too low. At the rate of 1.6 straws per person per day, we will each use, on average, about 38,000 straws in our lifetime. That's a lot of straws. That's when I decided this is something I can do something about. This is something kids can do something about. Anyone who can order a drink can order one without a straw. I decided to approach the problem from 2 directions. It seemed like a good idea to encourage individuals, customers, who don't need a straw to order their drinks without a straw, without one and also to encourage restaurants to offer customers a straw instead of putting one in every drink automatically. For restaurants, adopting this offer-first practice means that anyone who needs a straw can still get one, but participating restaurants would not serve one in every drink automatically. I'm not out to ban straws, I just want to cut back on them. Way back if possible. At first, I thought it would also be a good idea to ask restaurants to consider switching to biodegradable or compostable straws. But here's the problem with that. As you know, biodegradable and compostable straws only biodegrade or compost under very specific conditions. As you also know, composting landfills, by design, these conditions do not exist in landfills. Now, a lot of composting facilities are certified as having organic compost. In more and more states across the country, these organic composting facilities are not able to maintain the organic composting status if they accept plastics, because even though it does not leave behind a lot of toxins, compostable plastics do leave behind some toxic residue. Biodegradable and compostable straws cannot be recycled. In fact, most waste management facilities can't recycle plastic straws of any kind. This is why biodegradable and compostable straws often wind up in the landfills, where they cannot actually biodegrade or compost very well, so they pile up right alongside the disposable plastic straws, filling up the landfills. But actually, the more I thought about it, the more I realized that landfills are probably the best place for used straws. Otherwise, they wind up as litter on our countryside, in our rivers, lakes, oceans, even out in that growing plastic island we're all hearing about. According to the Center for Coastal Studies, straws are one of the most common types of trash that wash up on the beaches of Cape Cod. And according to Bob Prescott, director of Mass Audubon's Wellfleet Wildlife Sanctuary, leatherback turtles die on Cape Cod beaches every year from ingesting plastic. Sometimes I think it's easy to forget that every straw, every piece of plastic we use today will be here on Earth, somewhere on Earth, even when my grandchildren are born. Actually, even longer than that. We need to reduce, reuse, recycle, and rethink plastic. In February of this year, I set up a website called BeStrawFree.org as a call to action and as a place where people can come together to work on my project. In February, I met with the governor of Vermont, Peter Shumlin, and testified before the Vermont legislature. I was surprised and encouraged by how well it was received. In March, the National Restaurants Association formally and publicly recognized my suggestion that restaurants offer straws instead of putting one in every drink automatically. Then, I wrote to the mayor of Burlington, Vermont, and asked if we could work together to make Burlington the first straw-free city in America. And he became the first mayor to issue a public proclamation declaring Offer First the best practice citywide. The project started to get a lot of attention in the press. National Public Radio, domestic and international TV, and sites on the internet picked up the story, and people started signing on to my website from around the world. There are even schools in Canada and Malaysia signed on, a men's soccer club in Malaysia signed on, and individuals from over 30 countries too. This is a little different from most environmental projects in at least two ways. One, both kids and adults can participate fully. Anyone who can order a drink can order one without a straw. And we have the best environmental slogan on a bumper sticker ever. You can check it out on my website. It says, "I go strawless." I think I have it with me. We have some, where's it? Oh, for later. So, restaurants love this project. Most green initiatives cost money up front. This one saves restaurant owners money. From the first day they start offering straws instead of putting one into every drink automatically. In fact, participating restaurants have told us that they're saving anywhere from 50 to 80% on the number of straws they use. For every straw they don't use, they save money, along with helping the environment. And that's good PR. I just came from Washington, D.C. in July, where I was invited to meet with the entire congressional delegation of Vermont. It was really exciting to see how enthusiastic they are about this project. This summer, Boulder, Colorado, and Burlington, Vermont launched a challenge to see which downtown district can get the most restaurants to sign on to participate in Be Straw Free. This Boulder Burlington challenge was the first of its kind, and it's also gotten a lot of attention. But I'm still hoping that the students at BU will challenge a rival university to a similar contest. Anyway, that's how Be Straw Free got started and where it is right now. For the most part, the project has been really successful. One obstacle I've run across is that in order for fast food restaurants to participate, they're going to need a different kind of lid for their to-go cups. Right now, the lids they use require a straw to drink from. In order for fast food restaurants to participate, they're going to need a lid that offers customers the flexibility to drink the drink with a lid but without needing a straw. So, of course, we designed one. It's a to-go lid with a place to sip from on one side, similar to a coffee cup lid, and there's also a place to put a straw in the middle of the lid for people who prefer to use a straw. You can check it out on my website. We put it on the website hoping somebody will use it. It's free for the taking. According to some sources, McDonald's alone uses 50 million straws per day. I think having a lid like this would help them and other fast food restaurants reduce the number of straws they use. Ultimately, the goal of Be Straw Free is to reduce the use and waste of disposable plastic straws. I'd like to see it become standard that straws are offered to customers instead of being put into every drink automatically. Speaking of good bumper stickers, there's one which really inspires me that says, "The best way to predict the future is to help create it." You and I can create the future for our planet. This project is only one way. There are many others. I invite any of you who are interested in joining me in my effort to check out my site and participate. You can start by ordering your drinks without a straw if you don't need to use one, and encourage your favorite restaurant to adopt an offer first policy. I'd also like to learn about any other environmental projects that you are involved in. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me. We try to answer every email that comes in. My website is bestrawfree.org, and the email is hello@bestrawfree.org. Thanks so much for your time and for your interest in my project. Sure, yeah. Any questions?
We have some mics, so wait for the mic.
I was just wondering if you've ever come in contact with the Green Restaurant Association. They're basically, it's like a consulting agency. They work with restaurants and help them become more environmentally friendly. And as far as I know, they haven't done anything as far as like not using straws or encouraging people not to use straws or telling restaurants not to use straws. So I was wondering if you've heard of that or if you'd be interested in talking to them about it. So I think they'd be really interested in what you're doing.
Well, that's a great idea. I haven't heard of them.
Okay.
So
I'll email you their information.
Thank you.
Where do all the straws come from? Where are they made? Do you know?
Well, they, well, first they start from the oil, and then the oil goes to the oil refinery, and then the oil refinery ships it to the straw manufacturer, which makes the oil into the straw, and then the straw is distributed out by the straw manufacturers. But it takes a lot of energy to make just that one straw, out of mining the oil and getting the oil to the refinery, refining the oil, getting the refined oil to the straw place, and making the straw, and then shipping the straw all of those places. It takes a lot of energy, and it wastes a lot of stuff just to do that.
Hi, so I think what you're doing is really, really awesome, and I was wondering if you had any ideas to branch out to any other waste products beyond straws.
Well, I think there are plastics all around us, everywhere, and I thought that straws were just a good place to start. And because straws are something anyone can do something about. You know, kids don't really have any say about whether their parent uses a reusable bag or a disposable bag or whatever. But I think plastics are all around us, and just plastic in general is a problem.
Is this your first environmental project? And how old were you when you started it?
Well, first of all, no, this is not my first environmental project. I wanted to show that solar power wasn't just PV panels on a roof. So I made a design for a solar-powered popcorn machine. And when I went to Vermont, I found some people who helped me make that, to actually use that design, the Hand brothers, Jim and John Hand. And so then I got invited to Live Green, Live Green. It's a festival in Vermont, and I got to meet the governor. I sold him a bag of popcorn. And that was Governor Douglas. So then I got to meet the Governor Shumlin with my Be Straw Free project. So also, the age I was when I started the Be Straw Free project was 9. It was February of this year. Anybody else?
Well, thank you, Milo. To speak up in defense of BU, we're actually working on choice first. We're not there yet, but if you've been to the George Sherman Union, you'll see some signage there to really raise awareness of the straw issue. But I love the challenge, and we'll find a way to meet the challenge. Thank you, Milo.
Thank you.